Hey guys, it's Bookish Vegan here, all Natalia, and I'm finally doing another discussion video. So I asked on Instagram a while back, I know, it always takes me forever to film videos, if you wanted to see a all about audiobooks or a audiobooks versus physical books video, and audiobooks versus physical books one. I will be doing the other one soon as well because I have that one already nicely planned out. I just need to film it. But yeah, I will be sharing with you two benefits and two drawbacks of audiobooks and physical books. And I've already done one for ebooks versus physical books, which I'll leave a link to in the card and down below. So definitely check that one out because I had so much fun filming that one. And yeah, let's just get on into the video. So we are going to start off with audiobooks. So the first benefit of audiobooks is that it is more convenient to listen to when you are on the go, so either taking the bus to university like I usually do, or if you're traveling somewhere in the car you can listen to an audiobook than physically reading a book. And yeah, I personally can't read in the car like a book physically. It just makes me feel sick looking down whilst I'm traveling. So yeah, I tend to listen to audiobooks whenever I have them. So yeah, that is definitely one benefit. They are more convenient at certain times in your life. So the second advantage or benefit of audiobooks is it can make it more fun or more accessible to some readers, especially if you can't read or you have trouble reading, to have someone read you the story for you, because it kind of brings me back to those days when I was younger before bed and my dad or my mom read me stories before I fell asleep. So it can bring you back to your childhood, and it also can make it more convenient for people that maybe struggle with reading but still want to consume books. So one of the disadvantages that I found of audiobooks is it works a different part of your brain. So basically, reading is like exercise for your brain. Everyone knows that. So if you are physically reading a book, a different part of your brain tends to function and you're kind of like developing that. I won't get into the scientific facts of this because I don't really know. All I know is that listening to a book versus reading a book, different skills are being developed. So even though listening to audiobooks can develop your listening skills, reading a book physically tends to be better for you because your brain is processing it more, I feel like. And yeah, it just makes you read out loud in your head, and it can help you with pronunciation actually reading a physical book instead of listening to one. So this next drawback of listening to audiobooks is from my own personal experience, especially when I listen to audiobooks on YouTube, because you can find audiobooks on YouTube, just so you know. And yeah, sometimes you can get lost in the story. I found that a lot with some of the Jane Austen books I listened to, which kind of hindered my enjoyment of them. And sometimes you can, this has happened to me, fall asleep during audiobooks because it's just sometimes so soothing, even too soothing, to listen to someone else read a book for you. So yeah, those are just the only drawbacks I found of audiobooks. I feel like there are more advantages than disadvantages. So yeah, let's just get on into the benefits and drawbacks of physical books. So the first benefit of physical books is that there is a particular reason why physical books compared to audiobooks and ebooks have not died out yet and are still in fashion. It's just there's a feeling with holding a book physically and reading a book physically that just brings enjoyment to the reader. So I feel like that's one of the benefits of physically reading a book. You just get the pure pleasure of reading and holding a physical book in your hands, and I just love that. Then another benefit of physical books is it is much easier to annotate and mark your favorite passages in the book. As I mentioned in all my videos, I've been doing that recently a lot, and whilst I do sometimes highlight and annotate quotes that stand out to me whilst I'm listening to a book, I find that sometimes I forget to annotate, and then when I want to go back to a book I can't because I can't remember. So yeah, it is hard harder to annotate and mark your favorite passages when you're listening to an audiobook, whereas with a physical read you don't have that problem. So one of the drawbacks of physically reading a book is that it is inconvenient. As I mentioned before, to be reading a book physically all the time. I know there are people like superhumans that can read a physical book and walk at the same time, but I would always be on the floor or on the ground if I was doing that, because I cannot do that. I have to look where I'm going or I'll probably die. So yeah, it is inconvenient for me to read physically all the time. So yeah, I feel like audiobooks allow you to consume stories whenever you have the time, even if you're like walking. So that's one of the drawbacks of physical books. And then the other drawback of physical books is when you're traveling or going on a holiday, you have a limited physical TBR that you can take with you. Even if you wanted to take all the books on your TBR, which can be quite a lot for some of us, it's impossible to take like 50 books with you on a holiday. For instance, if I was going to Poland, no matter if it's in the car that I'm going where I have more storage or space to take more books with me, or if I'm going on an aeroplane. So I feel like with audiobooks you can just download them on your phone or some kind of listening device, and you can have as many as you could possibly imagine. So yeah, that is definitely one of the drawbacks of physical books. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments below if you listen to audiobooks and what are some of your favorites. In my video all about audiobooks, I will talk about some of my favorite audiobooks that I've listened to. So yeah, definitely tell me some of your favorite audiobooks that you listened down below, as I would love to know, and I'm always looking for new audiobook recommendations. And also tell me if you're a fan of audiobooks or if you hate them, because I personally would love to know the reasons why someone would hate an audiobook, because it's just such a cool way that we as readers get to enjoy a story, and if it's impossible for us to read, it just makes sense to listen to an audiobook. I have never personally been against them. Before, I'd never listened to audiobooks because I didn't really know about them, but since like basically this year I've listened to a ton of audiobooks. So they definitely do help sometimes with getting into stories and getting into series and helping you get through books. So definitely tell me all your thoughts on audiobooks down below, as I would love to know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!